Hey everyone, Mark the Movie Man here, and welcome to the Final Cut. And today we're taking a look at a film that's finally arrived. It's based off of a very popular book, and it's a movie of the same name called Ready Player One. And it's brought to us by director Steven Spielberg with a screenplay that was written by Zach Penn, as well as the author of the book also had his touch in the screenplay, giving us the story of a creator of a virtual world called the Oasis. It's set in the future, and the economy and the world is not in the best place, but when they log into the Oasis, it's a whole nother world where they can be anyone they want to be. And so people have been living in the Oasis for a while. Well, when the creator of this VR world dies, he announces he left some mysterious Easter egg within the Oasis, this massive virtual world. And if you found the Easter egg, you not only gain sole control over the company and anything that happens in the Oasis, but you also get his money. And so for the last 5 years, people have been hunting for this, both a big corporation called IOI and groups called Gunthers as well. Well, we follow a particular Gunther named Parsival, who soon bands together with a group of other Gunthers as he tries to figure out the 3 keys that they need through 3 different challenges to help unlock and find the Easter egg. And they try to race against time as the corporation is also trying to get to the Easter egg, so IOI can start charging people for it, which is, kind of like a pay-per-play basis. And so we see how these two forces clash in Ready Player One. So this film came out, I saw it, I read the book actually, just prepare myself for the movie, and I freaking love this film. I loved it, and I shouldn't have, and I know, and I can hear my friends going, it's just nostalgia porn, and oh my god, the references, and I was like that with the first third of the book. I was like, oh my god, here we go, but I got into the book when the story kind of diverged from that. But in this one, maybe it's because it's a movie form, and I'm not really a book guy, but I loved every minute of this film. I loved all the references they threw in here, and the story that they had. Now, they have Tyler Sheridan playing the Parsival character. Really enjoyed his character. He looked the part. He was the way I had pictured him in the book. I mean, they nailed the casting for the Parsival character, and they managed to keep many of the core elements of his character within, from the book in the movie, and I liked that as well. They really maintained his character quite a bit. Now, Artemis, played by Olivia Cooke, loved her character, loved the chemistry between Tyler and Olivia, had some fun scenes in here, nothing too deep, but this film isn't meant for depth. It's meant for referential fun and just sitting back and enjoying your popcorn, which I did. Now, Ben Mendelsohn in here plays the evil Sorrento, and it's something I noticed in this while watching it on screen is they borrowed, not only is this film based off of a book that uses a lot of pop culture references, both video game and music and such, not only that, but their characters in this movie were resembling and had familiar characteristics to popular characters from popular films from the 80s and 90s. And the Sorrento character played by Ben Mendelsohn, he played this like a classic 80s villain, which some people might think is a little cliche. I loved it. I caught it, that I'm like, wow, he's just like those a-holes from the 80s films. So, the John Hughes films and that. So I loved that bit. Seeing Simon Pegg in here was great. The rest of this cast does fantastically in here. As far as visuals go, yes, it's a CGI fest, but it's a story taking place inside a VR world, so you're going to get that. And you do have some real-world scenes as well, and I enjoyed how they jumped between the two in that, and their explanation and setup of the Oasis, I thought they did well. And man, the references while you're in the VR world, you're going to have to watch this a few times to catch them all. But I loved both the old, and I even enjoyed them working in the new elements from newer video games into it. That didn't take me out of it at all, and think it was respectful to the source material. The challenges are different, but of course that's because of licensing. Didn't care. Still a lot of fun to watch. Very exciting, edge on your seat, and you can play the game of pick the reference out, and nothing wrong with that. In the final battle, my boys and I were talking about it. They thought it was just okay. I loved it, but I would have liked to see more of it, and so would they, because it was just insane. The final battle that they had going on in this film, and yeah, it's an interesting story. It's not too deep. You have a love story in here as well. And he went to a few dark places. Now, overall, he kept it lighter than the book. But there's a section in the middle for the second challenge they had, which had me squee inside. I didn't want to do it outside because I didn't want to embarrass my boys and all. But I'm like, oh my god, he did that. He really did. Horror fans, Yes, I'm just gonna put it out there. Horror fans are gonna know what I'm talking about when they see it. And he did it so beautifully. He replicated some things in here so well. I mean, there's no doubt Steven Spielberg is definitely a master at the directing craft, and you wouldn't think he'd take a project on like this if he didn't think he could do it right. And I think he did this right. Yes, there's people out there that are gonna hate it. They're gonna hate the referential nostalgia porn, as many people call it. I should hate it, but I don't. I loved it. And maybe it's because being the movie buff, I caught all the movie references in here. And the musical score from Alan Silvestri. Alan Silvestri does fantastic with adding music scores, cues in here from other 80s and 90s films to help fit the overall theme of this movie, which is a 80s and 90s pop culture reference and movie reference type movie. And he threw those in there. It was awesome. I caught them all. I'm like, yes, hey, that's Back to the Future. Hey, that's got, he threw a lot in there musically as well. It's interesting. It's entertaining. It is a CGI fest, which if you're bored by that, you may not want to go see it. But for me, being a kid of the 80s, I couldn't help but enjoy myself at this film, and I'm going to try to go see it again soon. So there you have it, folks. Yes, as you imagine, 5 stubs. Thank you, Mr. Spielberg, for giving me a fun time and making me feel 12 years old all over again. And again, I'm sure many of you have opinions about this film, probably didn't like it, and I can see where you're coming from in that. There's plot holes and such like that, but, it's just meant to be a fun, entertaining, lighter film, and I think they accomplished that. So subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate your support. Please leave your comments if you've seen this film, and until next time, Movie Maniacs, remember, keep that ticket stub.